All right, so we're going to begin getting into any comfortable lying down position. So maybe it's just lying down in a corpse pose. Maybe like a little lying down, Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide. I know that's one of my favorites, but I also know that it can be pretty intense on the hips and the knees. So if you try this and you decide that that's not comfy for you yet, you can bring the legs out long. Another great option is to bring the feet to the width of the mat and then bring the knees in together. Just a nice relaxing pose. So choose whatever you would like, whatever feels relaxing to you this evening. Make your way there. And once you're there, just start to sink into the mat. So feeling your body become heavier. And start with the feet, just feeling maybe the heels or the edges of the feet sink in just a little deeper into the mat. And working your way up into the legs and the hips, relaxing, letting them ground down. Feeling support of the back on your mat. Maybe your low back is touching, but maybe it's not. Noticing that space. Feeling your shoulder blades sink in a little bit deeper. Letting the arms completely relax. And finally, feeling the back of the head just sink in. So your entire body is grounded down, feeling the support of the earth beneath you. And take a few moments here to notice how you're feeling. Maybe you're holding stress or tension. I know for me, I'm holding a lot in my right shoulder right now. Maybe your hips feel tight. Maybe it was a rough day and your body feels just a little off. Or maybe you feel great. Just notice whatever is going on for you. And then see if you can let something go. It's one of the easiest but most relaxing places for me to let go is in my forehead. That little space in between your eyebrows. It holds so much tension, but it feels so good to just let it release. Releasing tension in the jaw is another one of my favorites. Begin to notice your breath. Start by noticing The inhales and the exhales, are they deep and slow? Maybe shallow and a bit faster? Maybe noticing where the breath is going. Is it going into your chest? Is it moving into the ribs and into the belly? Or is it maybe stopping somewhere? Oftentimes we forget to breathe into our bellies. Either leaving the breath in the chest. Sometimes even I feel like it doesn't get past my throat if I'm having a lot of anxiety or just not remembering to breathe properly. On your next inhale, begin to draw the breath into the belly, filling it up just like a balloon. And then on the exhale, let it deflate. Again, inhale in, filling up the belly. Exhale, let it go. One more time here, inhale in, filling up. Exhale, release. This time we're going to inhale in the same way, so beginning to fill the belly, but we'll also begin to fill the rib cage, feeling the rib cage expand. And then on the exhale, you'll feel the ribs contract and the belly come back in. So inhale, filling the belly, and then the ribs. And then exhale, release. One more time here, inhale, filling the belly and the ribs. Exhale, let go. And we'll add the chest in here. So inhale, belly rises, ribs expand, chest lifts. Exhale, chest falls, ribs contract, belly deflates. So moving into this 3-part breath. Filling up the lungs completely with each inhale and letting it all go with each exhale. And as you're breathing this 3-part breath, notice the natural pauses at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Can also be helpful to bring your hands to the belly, or maybe bringing one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart here, just to add that extra connection, that extra awareness into the body. Take one more round. And return to your normal breath. If you're in that lying down butterfly pose, maybe bring the knees in together. Then take the legs out long. We're going to start to bring some movement back in here, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the ankles and the wrists. Inhale, let's bring the arms up and overhead. Big toes come together. Take a nice big stretch here. And then exhale, hug the knees in. Might feel nice to lift the head, just curling into a little ball. From here, we're going to fall into a fetal pose on the left side. Maybe using your arm as a little pillow here. And take a moment to sink back into the earth, just as we did on our back. So feeling the left side, letting it ground down just a little bit deeper, relaxing any muscles that you may have tensed. Then on an exhale, we're going to slowly bring the right arm back behind us, bringing that right shoulder blade to the earth. Arms can come out into T, coming into a nice spinal twist. You always have the option of taking this a little bit deeper, straightening through that top leg, shifting your gaze over that right shoulder. Another great option is to bring a blanket in between the knees or even underneath the knees. It can help relieve a little bit of pressure if you're feeling any. Your next inhale will bring the knees back into center. Option to bring some movement in, maybe curl back into that little ball. And exhale, we'll drop into a fetal pose on the right. beginning to sink in. Noticing that right side, grounding down. Again, releasing any tension we may have. On an inhale, we'll open up into that spinal twist, bringing that left arm out behind us. Option to straighten through with the top leg, shift your gaze. Maybe bring that blanket in between the knees. Whatever variation serves you best this evening. And as we hold these poses, remember to come back to that deep breath. Filling up the belly with the inhales, feeling that rib cage expand. With the exhales, just trying to let go and release a little bit further into the pose. Your inhale will bring you back through center. Let's bring some movement in here, rocking the knees side to side. Might feel good to take those knees in a circle. Feeling that low back and those hips. Get a nice massage here. Making sure to take that circle in the opposite direction. Your next inhale, let's lift both legs up to the ceiling for our candlestick or legs up the wall. Take a moment here to point and flex the feet. Rotate the ankles in one direction and then the other. From here, we're going to come into happy baby. So bending into the knees, binding either the inside, the outside of the feet, maybe the big toes, maybe even your ankles here. Just trying to make a U-like shape with the legs. Maybe rocking from side to side if movement feels good to you. Or you can keep your stillness here. If you want an extra little hamstring stretch here, you can straighten through one leg. And then bringing that leg back in and straightening through the opposite. Sometimes it feels nice to straighten through both legs here. ahead and release your bind. We're going to do just a little rock and roll up to the top of our mat. So just rock up and down the spine here a few times until you make your way into a seat. So we'll come into easy pose or Sukhasana, just bringing in one heel followed by the other. Sitting slightly back into our sit bones, feeling that connection to the earth. We're going to move through with some cat-cow. So on the inhale, begin to arch through the spine, gazing up towards the ceiling, lifting your chin up. And then on the exhale, begin to round in, tucking the chin into the chest. Inhale, arching, coming into our cow pose. Exhale, rounding into cat. Finding your own pace here as you begin to move with the breath. Again, noticing the natural pause. If you'd like, it sometimes feels good to turn this into more of a circle here. Just bringing it around to the left as you arch and around to the right as you begin to round in. And if you're making those circles, go in the opposite direction. Once you feel balanced, bring it back to center. We'll inhale the arms up and overhead. Interlacing the fingers, pointing your pointer fingers up towards the ceiling. We're just going to exhale, side lean over to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale right. And inhale center. Exhale left. Finding your flow here. One more round each side. Bringing it back through center. Go ahead and bind the thumbs and then just gently pull the elbows apart. We're stretching into the shoulders here. Option to even bring the hands behind the head. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can leave your thumbs up a little bit higher. Wherever you are, remembering to breathe. Inhale, bring both arms back up high. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe bringing the hands to the mat, maybe coming onto the forearms or even walking the hands out. Inhale, lift up onto the fingertips. Walk it over to the right. And exhale, fold it back in, feeling a nice stretch into the left side body. Working on keeping that left hip grounded here. Relax the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, lift back up onto the fingers. Slowly walk through center over to the left side. And exhaling to fold back in, grounding into that right hip. Feeling that stretch into the right side body. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears here. Release any tension in the neck, maybe even shaking the head no, and then shaking the head yes. Inhale to lengthen, lifting back up onto the fingertips, walking it through center. And then we'll exhale to release. Straightening through both legs. Bring the feet out long. Keeping the feet flexed here. We'll inhale, lift the arms up and overhead. Gaze up in between the fingertips. And then on the exhale, thinking about the heart and the chest shining forward, we'll forward fold. Bringing the hands either to the calves, the shins, maybe the ankles, maybe the feet, maybe even just placing them around the feet or on either side of the legs. Let's inhale, lengthen up just halfway. So we're beginning to lengthen through that spine. And then exhale, begin to fold in a little bit deeper. One more time. Inhale, begin to lengthen. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, we'll lengthen. Releasing out, bringing the soles of the feet together. Knees are open wide. Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. The closer in your heels are, the more intense this will be. The further out, the less intense. So pick wherever you are this evening. Begin to open your feet up like a storybook, maybe giving them a mini massage. If you've ever taken one of my classes before, you know I'm a big fan of giving the feet a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. Your next inhale will lengthen through the spine. Gaze up towards the ceiling, lifting the chin up, feeling a nice stretch into the throat. And then exhale, shining the heart forward, forward fold. Trying to keep a flat back for as long as possible here. This can be a pretty intense hip stretch, so it's okay if you don't go very far. Coming back to your breath wherever you are at. Inhale, we'll rise up. We're going to take a spinal twist from here, bringing that left hand over to the right knee. The right hand comes behind. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, and then exhale into a twist, gazing over that right shoulder. And try not to crank your body into the twist here. I notice that sometimes my ego likes to do that for me, thinking that if I twist further, I'm doing the pose better. But that's not the goal that we're after here. So if you notice yourself doing that as well, just back off a little bit. Keeping that left hand where it is. We're going to exhale and round into the spine, tucking the chin into the chest, stretching into that left shoulder. Inhale, we'll bring the arms back up and overhead through center. Exhaling, right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale to twist. Again, notice if you're trying to really crank yourself into that twist. Releasing that right arm. Relaxing through the shoulder. Inhale to lengthen the spine, keeping that right hand where it is. Exhale, begin to round, stretching into the back of that right shoulder this time. Inhale, the hands come back to center. Let's exhale, bring them to heart center. Namaste Tahiya. Bow in slightly. Take a moment to pause here. Take a big inhale in together. And exhale out through the mouth. Release our hands down behind our hips and begin to windshield wiper the legs. So rocking the knees from side to side, bringing some movement back in. Beginning to lengthen the legs out wide. So your legs can be as wide as feels good here. You don't have to come out super wide, not looking for the splits or anything here. But just feeling a nice stretch into the inner thighs. Keep your toes pointed up towards the ceiling to protect the knees. We don't want to be overextending them. Let's inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, begin to fold, maybe bringing the hands down, staying onto the fingertips, maybe walking them out, coming onto the forearms, or even just laying down here if that's in your practice. This pose is probably one of my least favorites due to tight inner thighs. It's a hard one for me to stay and to breathe in. But that's why we come to our mats, to practice and to breathe through the uncomfortable. The more we are able to breathe through the uncomfortable on our mats, the easier it becomes in our life when we're faced with things that are out of our comfort zones. Inhale, lifting up onto the fingertips. We'll walk our hands over, bringing the hands around that right leg. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling to fold in. Inhale, coming back onto the fingertips, slowly making your way to the left side. Bringing the hands on either side of that left leg. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to fold in. Remembering to keep that flex into the toes. Sometimes it's easy here to let the back foot just kind of do whatever it wants, but try to keep that flex. Inhaling to lengthen, walking it back to center. Bringing the hands behind the hips, bend the knees, bring the legs in, begin to windshield wiper. Rocking the legs from side to side. Our next pose is going to be fire log pose. We'll start by bringing that left shin so it's parallel to the top of our mats. Then we're going to bring our right ankle our right foot over towards that left knee, bringing the right knee down. So stacking your legs like fire gloves. Those very appropriately named. And it's okay if your right knee doesn't come anywhere near that left foot right now. This is another pretty intense one, especially if you sit all day. I myself work a desk job all day, so I spend my fair share of time sitting. That's why it feels really good the more often I do this pose to keep my hips open. So some options here for modifications. You can bring your hands underneath that right knee and just gently support it, taking a little bit of the pressure off. If you'd like to take it further, maybe pressing gently into that right knee. And if your hips are open here and you'd like to, you can always bring the forearms down to the shin or even down to the earth, folding in here. But as you fold, notice how that changes the pose. For me, if I simply press into my right knee, I feel it more into the hip flexor. Whereas if I fold forward, the stretch turns more into an outer hip and IT band. Both are great stretches. Just be aware of what you're looking to get out of the pose. Bringing the hands behind the hips, unbinding our legs, and just rocking the knees side to side. Bring in a little movement in between sides. And we'll bring the right shin so it's parallel to the top of the mat. Left foot / left ankle comes over towards the right knee. Trying to work our left knee down to that right foot. Again, being very mindful here. Maybe bringing that left hand underneath the left knee, just alleviate some of that weight, some of that intensity, or maybe pressing into the left knee to further the intensity. Maybe folding in, if that serves you this evening. Remember to come back to the breath, back to those inhales and exhales. Bring the hands behind the hips. Unwind your legs. Bring that movement back in. Bending into the knees. Finding behind the thighs. We're going to gently roll it back down. Coming to lying down on our backs. Planting the feet outside of the sit bones in line with the hips here. Making sure your knees aren't going out to the side or aren't coming in. Arms are down by the side, rolling the shoulders slightly under. We'll press into the feet, lifting the hips up, coming into bridge pose. Option here to bring a block underneath the hips. If you do that, you can hang out here for quite some time, really. This is actually one of my favorites to just kind of hang out in, especially in a supported bridge. We'll slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling your low back reach the mat, and once it does, inhale, lift it back up. So almost like you're making a wave with the body, exhaling to roll it down, inhaling to roll it up. Being mindful of our spine here, going as slow as you need. We're not just dumping into the spine as we roll down, making sure that each vertebrae gets that nice attention. We'll do one more round. Once your low back meets the earth, hug the knees in. Option to rock it side to side or roll up into that little ball here. Release the head if it was lifted. We'll hug that right knee in and release that left leg out. So option for that left knee to stay bent, bringing the sole of the left foot to the earth, or you can extend the leg long. This is a great place to grab a strap or a towel, even one of those robe ties. Rocking that right knee side to side. Beginning to open up into that right hip. Your next inhale, begin to lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling. And then take your bind, either using the strap around the ball of the foot, maybe binding behind the thigh, the calf, the ankle, maybe the big toe here. Relaxing the shoulders down, keeping them grounded. Feeling that stretch into the hamstring and the calf as you flex your foot, pointing, or I guess flexing your toes towards you, not pointing. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you'll inhale, lift the upper body, bringing the nose closer to the knee. Exhale, release the upper body and open the leg out to the right. Keeping that left hip grounded, maybe bringing your left hand to your left hip. Inhale, bringing the leg back to center. Go ahead and switch the strap to your left hand if you're using one, or go and bind somewhere on the right leg with the left hand and gently begin to cross that right leg over to the left. So you'll notice if you stop about halfway, you'll feel a stretch into the outside of that right leg, into that right IT band. Or if you go all the way into the stretch, you'll turn it into a spinal twist. So noticing which feels better to you. Your next inhale will lift the leg back up to center. And then using the full exhale, we'll slowly release that right leg back down. Maybe even challenging yourself to go slower than your body would like to here. Once your heel reaches the earth, take a moment to notice the two legs. One might feel lighter, one might feel longer. Your next exhale, hug that left knee into the chest. Begin to rock it from side to side. Bringing your strap around the ball of the foot if you're using one, or just straightening your leg up to the ceiling and taking your bind. Coming into that nice hamstring stretch. Flexing those left toes towards you. Again, trying to release the upper body as much as you can here. Trying to let the shoulders hunch up for the bind. If you'd like that extra intensity in your hamstring stretch, bringing the nose closer to the knee. Exhale, releasing the upper body, opening that left leg out to the left, bringing the right hand to the right hip, making sure the right hip stays grounded. Inhale, bringing the leg back to center. Switching your strap over to the right hand or just binding onto the left leg with the right hand. Come into that side stretch, essentially. Bringing that left foot over to the right side. Option to stop halfway. Feel that stretch into that IT band or come into your full twist. Inhale, bringing the leg back to center, releasing your strap or your bind. And then using the full exhale, slowly release that left leg down to the earth. Once the heel reaches the mat, notice how you're feeling, how the body is feeling. Noticing your breath. Maybe it's gotten deeper or maybe you lost it. And here you have a couple of options. If you have a blanket close by, it's one of my favorite poses, is bringing the blanket just behind the low back. Sitting up first, obviously, to do that. And then exhale, laying back down. This is also great with a bolster or even a pillow. Your legs can be crossed, maybe in Baddha Konasana, or lengthening them out. Another option here, if that doesn't feel great, you can just bring the blanket underneath the knees as you come into your corpse pose. Either way, we'll be bringing the hands to the belly. Begin to check back in with yourself. Notice if your breath has changed since the start of class. Notice if your body has relaxed. Maybe you found new areas of tightness to release. Maybe your body feels more grounded. Today is all there is. Live boldly, forgive often, love openly. Give thanks for every beautiful experience, but also show gratitude for the ones that were difficult, yet shined a light to show you the way forward. Honor your own story, whatever it may be, with love, courage, and dignity. Do not strive for perfection, because as you are, you exemplify the beauty of humanity in all of its imperfection and magnificence. Today is all you have. So with the full recognition of that immense, empowering truth, be present in this moment and honor it. Take a deep inhale in. Slow exhale out. Slowly bringing your awareness back into your body, back into the space that you are in. Noticing where your body meets the earth, feeling that support. Bringing small movements in as you are ready. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rotating the ankles and the wrists. Rocking the head from side to side. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. The toes come together. Exhale, hugging the knees into the chest. maybe falling into a fetal pose on either side, just taking one final pause, one final moment all to yourself, setting an intention for the rest of your night, the rest of your week. And when you're ready, you can meet me in any comfortable seat, the top of your mat. We'll inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhaling the hands to heart center, bowing in slightly, showing gratitude to yourself first. I thank you all for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope you have a beautiful night's sleep and a beautiful rest of your day. The light in me bows to and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.